Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom08, and this is episode 55 of my series in which I will try to collect a billion iron ingots. In today's episode, I am going to do a few different things. First off, I'm going to add some power generation to my building over here, and then I'm going to connect its power generation to my regular electrical or RF system, I should say. Because as of right now, it is not connected. It is just strictly connected to this building over here, which is making all the loud noises. So what I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to reconfigure these guys just a little bit. I'm actually going to, I'm going to turn these two on and these two off. Right now, I think I have these two off and these two on. So this one right here is producing 720. I want these upgrades and this guy right here. So I need that. And this needs to be on. This is on, and these two need to go bye-bye. And if I do that, I can also do this. Now in the future, I always have the option to add more steam dynamos right here because I'm not taking those away. But for right now, this is how we're going to have it. So let's take these upgrades. I don't know that I did this right. 840, 720. I did. Okay, so I think we need one of these and two of these. And then you need to be on. Nope, I'm doing the wrong ones. Is what I'm doing. Okay, so what do we have here? 720, and we need this to be 820. So we need this to have more power. Of which I have in one of these dynamos. Shoot. No, what'd I do? What did I do? Yeah, I did the right thing. Accidentally, but I did what I wanted. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of these guys. And what we're going to do here is we are going to take these pipes straight up. And this will help the turbines upstairs look a little bit cleaner with the plumbing. So that's kind of why I've reconfigured this down here. So that should be cool. Now I need to actually run this plumbing up. I probably shouldn't get rid of all this stuff because I'm going to need part of it. But for right now, I'm going to build two turbines. And I think I can go ahead and do this off camera. They will be configured the exact same as these two turbines down here. Pretty much down to how much. Yeah, they'll be perfectly the same as these two turbines. So I'm going to go off camera and build those, and I will be right back in a few minutes. And here we are with my two new turbines. Now we just need to hook up the plumbing, which should be pretty straightforward here. Should just be able to pump in water like so on each side. And hopefully I have enough water for all the system. And then we take our item duct and we do the same thing here. And boom. And there we go. Now we can take our stone covers and we can make this look nice and pretty. Meanwhile, our turbines should start spinning. Oh, I think I know what's going on. I didn't turn that one on. That's okay. I can do that here in just a second. I turned this one on, but I forgot to turn the other one on, apparently. And there we go. And look at that. We're starting to generate some power. Perfect. Now let's go downstairs, throw on our covers down here as well. If I can reach them. And then we can connect this power system up to the rest of the power system. And for that, I'm going to need some flux duct here. And this should be pretty easy. I think I have a basement down here. Yeah, I do. And for this, we will need to just say right here. And now we need to go outside and down here. And now we can connect this up to the rest of our power set, or the rest of our city, I should say. And now we should have a little power. And I did that because I was looking at my turbines over there, and I realized I had no extra power gen at this point. So that was kind of a bummer. Now the next thing I want to do this episode is, if we go and look at my iron ore here, we see that I have 53,000 extra crushed iron ore that has not been purified yet, which means my ore washers cannot keep up. But I have a solution here. We're going to add some solar arrays, and I have a few of them made. And let's see here. This is not centered at all. Okay. So what I need to do is mark out where exactly I need these solar arrays. And if you'll notice, I also put a top on this building because I think I'm done building up with this building. I can make it go fast. I can make all of the stuff go faster in the building, so that's probably the route we're going to take rather than continuing to build up. We'll see. We might actually have to in the future, but for right now, let's grab some solar arrays. I only have 16 made. These things take a long time to build and a lot of resources. So let's go ahead and put them here. Now, I'm actually wanting to add all 16 of these guys. And how do I want to do this? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in each direction by 4. Or by 3, I should say. That should be perfect. Now let's grab some glass fiber cable. And that should be great. Now let's do the same thing over here. And I'm only doing 3 extras on each side of the MFSUs, because 4 solar arrays produce as much power as 1 MFSU can distribute. So that's pretty perfect. And there we go. We have more power up here. Now, we're not going to just use this or just add this power to not use. We are going to throw some overclockers in our ore washers. And then hopefully they will be able to keep up and not completely drain my system of power. So let's grab 1 stone to cover up this hole up here, and then grab some overclockers. I'm not sure how many I need, but I know I have a bunch, so let's just grab a bunch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 overclocker to each ore washer. Hopefully I have enough power to make this work, and hopefully we start seeing our crushed iron ore draw down a little bit. And I can go ahead and do the rest of this off camera, and then at the end of the episode, we can come back to this and see if we are hurting for power or if we have enough. So I will be back in just a minute. Okay, now that we have that done, we can see that right now everything seems to be working smoothly. However, it is during the day, and we should definitely have enough power capacity during the day. But when night comes, I'm kind of interested to see if we actually do have enough power or if we do not. But for right now, we're just going to call that good. Actually, I do need to come back over here because I added a few things underground here. I added 3 more magma crucibles, and we got a decent backlog of blazing pyrotheum now because I added a bunch more bees down here, and you can see that I have a lot of apiaries down here. And so I actually want to build even more, because if we go over here to the pyrotheum dust, we see that we are using all of our pyrotheum dust right here. And that means we could be making more. And also back here, I have a system that auto-crafts pyrotheum and injects it into the system here. And actually, let's take a look at if we have... Okay, we have blaze powder. Do we have sulfur? Yeah, we're pretty much out of sulfur at this point. So the system is kind of very possibly being choked right now. And as we see, it's actually seeming to go down right now, our supply. So we want to fix that, and we can do that with more pyrotheum bee or pyro drones and pyro bees. And we have a system over here in this building to where we can make more bees. And I'm going to reset up this system because I set up this system off camera, and apparently I've been using it a lot lately, and I'm going to use it a lot this episode, so I can actually set it up and even set it up a little bit better. I'm actually going to destroy 2 of these machines. I'm not going to destroy the middle machine here because I don't want to lose this buffer. Actually, I don't want to lose this buffer either. Okay, so this little setup contains 3 machines here. A protein liquefier, which it's a pretty simple machine. What you do is you stick in some sort of protein supply, and that is usually some form of meat. I usually use chicken, but you can use raw beef. I'm not sure what all you can use, but you can just experiment and try to throw things in here. But just, I don't think you can use mutton though, but you can use like anything that would be considered meat, except for, I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, just throw some meat in there. It makes it into liquid protein, and then it injects it into here. And this machine needs 2 things, liquid DNA and protein, and it creates an ignoble drone with the traits that you have in a genetic template. And the genetic template must have all 13 traits. So here's the traits that I have for my pyro queens that I'm making, and they are quite good. I don't think they're quite perfect because I feel like there's like a temperature tolerance of like both 3 that you can get. And sometimes effects are desirable, but I have a no effect. But it's a pretty good bee. So I've been making a lot of these lately, so I might as well just show the setup. And for the DNA extractor, you need 2 things. You need genetic slabware and drones. So I'm going to reset up this system a little bit differently than I had before. I'm going to put my genetic slabware in at the top. And right here, I'm not going to use those. I am going to go over to this building over here and do something I forgot to do. I have these 3 things set up to export basically the trash that I need from the pyro queens. And one of those things is drones here. I have a lot of leftover drones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that and replace it with a fresh, completely empty black hole unit. So that'll take up all the drones. And I just set up that because my system was kind of being flooded with things that I don't need. And so, yeah, I can use these drones for something good. And let's do that. So what I'm going to do here is just grab an item duct and a servo. And we're going to hook this up to automatically input into this guy right here. Hopefully that works. Yes, it does. So let's grab some genetics labware. And let's create a bunch of this because it's pretty easy stuff to create. And just throw it in here. Boom. Full. Now this right here, yeah, this isn't going to look great, but whatever. Since I'm out of channels and I can't just stick on an export bus here, which would be exactly what I would like to do, I can just grab a hopper and a black hole unit, and hopefully this works. Let's grab some chicken. And a while back when I was breeding bees, I did a bunch of bee breeds off camera. I made what's called big bad queens. Let's see if I can't Yeah, right here. And this guy's pretty funny. He makes raw chicken and raw beef as his outputs. I find that pretty comical. But yeah, that's why I have a lot of raw chicken and raw beef, because of that. So I'm just gonna grab a bunch of this stuff, and essentially this system, if all works like it should, like it has in the past anyways, it will create a lot of pyro queens for me. Let's see how many I have right now. I think I have like one. Yeah, I only have like one, but that's okay. For right now, that is perfectly fine. This system should start cranking them out at a decent rate. And I'm just going to throw a little bit more chicken in here. And hopefully this will give us plenty, because we are going to be setting up a home. Okay, go up. A home for even more bees up here. So let me just craft up, let's say, 400 of these things. I know I'm not going to need that many, but also because I know that what I'm about to do requires a lot of bronze, I made 100,000 between episodes because I can, and my system is awesome like that. And it probably took like 3 minutes to do. Not really, but still. Okay, so I need to figure out how exactly I'm going to set up these apiaries. So let's grab a bunch of them and figure out how exactly we're going to set these up. I think I'm going to set them up in like 4 different banks here. So the first bank will be like, let's say this big. And then the other banks will be the exact same size. And the next thing I need to do is find the middle and put some dirt with a flower. Which is why I am making these things in this fashion. Okay, so essentially there are 2 middle blocks. So I'm just gonna whack these out and get some dirt. And we'll get 2 different flowers just because, you know, let's give them a little treat here. So we'll give them a dandelion and a poppy. Yes, a treat. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we need to like destroy the floor underneath them. So we have 3 on each side. So that makes things pretty easy. We can just hammer time this. And I completely did not put my hammer in the right spot there. Needed to be right over here. Okay, if this is all right, perfect. And then this last one should be all of them. Now I need a few things here. I need power first of all. Where can we run power? We can just run that straight up. It's not gonna look the greatest, but who cares? It'll work. So let's go over here. Grab some flux duct. By some I mean like all of it apparently. And we can run this up like so. And voila, we have some power. Now I'm gonna need some signalum plated item ducts here. Impulse item ducts to be specific. And now I need to attach all of these guys up. Something like so. You know what, I can go ahead and do this off camera. I am also going to put regular servos on all of them. And let's just craft up a bunch of those. And I will make them all active. So what I'm going to do is every single apiary will be connected to an impulse item duct with a servo that is on. I'm going to do all of that, and then I will be back in a few minutes. So I should be done with the servos and the item ducts. Theoretically, since I had a stack of each, I should have 10, or not 10, but I should have the same amount of signalum plated impulse item ducts and servos left, and that is the case. So that is cool. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give this system maybe a shade more power here, because the signalum plated impulse item ducts are kind of limited in how much power they can transmit. So what I'm going to do and how I'm going to fix that is I'm going to take some of this and run this across like so. Let's see here. And boom. And we can make that look a little bit better with covers in a little bit, but for right now, that should be a-okay. The next thing I need to do with that, though, is I need to connect it up to this guy down here. And for that, I think I can run it from just straight down from right there. And once again, this won't look great, but I don't really care. It's gonna work well. So we can just run this straight up. Let's not do that, because then we'll have rogue bees in that. That would be bad. Actually, I don't think we could. You know what? I don't think I will actually need that. So what we can do is we can just replace this like so, and that should be good. So that should be able to get our items from up here to down here, all good and dandy. Next thing I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to cover this mess up, and that's going to take a little bit. So I think I'm going to go away and do that off camera real fast, and then once I get everything all covered up, then I will be back. Okay, now that we have all of this ceiling slash floor patched up, let's go up here and actually, let's not go up here. Let's go over to this building over here to see exactly how I have these guys configured. And I will need to take a look at the ignoble ones, because they have this additional genetic stabilizer upgrade, which prevents the ignoble stock from dying out. If you're unfamiliar with how forestry works, there are two kinds of princesses and queens. There are pristine, which will never die out, and then ignoble, which have a chance to die out. However, if you put them in an industrial apiary with the genetic stabilizer upgrade, the queen slash princess will never die out. So all of my apiaries will need this. So actually, let's get rid of a bunch of stuff that I won't need. We will need... Actually, let's just go to upgrade, because they're all upgrades. We will need a bunch of these. So let's say make a bunch of those. By a bunch, I mean exactly 54 should be what we need. And then we need the automation upgrades. So let's find that. Make a bunch of those guys. And then we also need the hell emulation upgrades. These bees can survive in the desert, and they actually do well in the desert. However, they will not be able to produce their specialty items, which are the Pyrotheum dust and the blaze powder, both of which we really, really want. So we definitely need the hell emulation upgrade. And lastly, I need a bunch of production upgrades. And so let's just grab a bunch of those, and let's make room for that, and run over here and start setting these guys up. So this is actually pretty easy here. We can just, these apiaries will not allow you to add upgrades that it cannot accept. So I just shift click and roll around, and boom, got everything we need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these upgrades to all of these apiaries here, and then I will be back in just a few minutes. Now that we have all of our industrial apiaries set up correctly, let's grab some queens. As of right now, I only have 17 of these guys, so let's go ahead and grab all of them and start sticking them in, and hopefully they will take off and start producing the things that we so desperately need. And I know that at first when you throw them in, they're saying that they don't have flowers, but they totally do, and after a minute it corrects itself. I don't know why it does that, but whatever. Seems to work. We have one more. Let's go ahead and throw him in. And let's see here. Let's try to see if we can't catch one of them producing stuff and make sure it's actually, the whole system is working as far as the item extraction and everything. I think it shouldn't have any problem, but just to make sure. Just a 100% check. There we go. Looks like it's working. And I have regular servos because it's not like these things produce items really, really super fast. So the servos don't need to be anything special. Regular old servos will do. So that should help with our Pyrotheum problem that we're about to encounter. Also, between episodes, I took out one of the auxiliary sieve upgrades and added another reception coil. So these furnaces are going a little bit faster now. All the furnaces on the outside, that is, not any of these guys in the middle, because I already am out of rich slag and cinnabar, which these two lines need. So they're already going as fast as they can. But these outer lines, I added upgrades to make them a little bit faster, because I have a nice backlog of iron ore that I want to work through. Actually, there's one last thing I want to do. Let's go back over here and check out these turbines here and see if they're up to speed yet. They are. Cool. And since this system is connected up to my regular power grid now, I just added something like 42,000 RF per tick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll over here and I'm going to speed this guy up. And in between episodes, I added some batteries here. Just for a little extra power to these resonant flux ducts up here, because they were kind of stretched to their limit as they were. However, they should not be anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit. Instead of 39, I'm going to set this to 30. So every second and a half now, it produces another item. And it should be able to handle that really well right now. So that's cool. I would like to see this thing go super, super fast, but unfortunately we don't have the power for that. It is really neat to just like sit and watch, at least in my opinion. When you have one of the systems set up to where it goes really, really fast, it's just kind of cool in my opinion. But you know what? I think it's time to wrap up. So in today's episode, I managed to play with bees a little bit. I added some power generation with my coal over there. And let's actually check on my coal supply. My coal supply is going up. We'll have to continue to watch it since I added a bunch more coal consumption. But it looks like it's going pretty good right now. So I shouldn't have to worry about that. At least not for a while anyways. And I added some solar arrays to this guy over here. And I sped up the ore washers. And I actually wanted to check this during the night to see. It looks like everything's going to work out. That's cool. That is cool. That's what I want to see. I was kind of wondering if I had enough power for that. But, yeah. And like I said, I also played with bees, did solar, added power gen, all that fun stuff. As of right now, I have 34 million iron ingots, which is a nice improvement over last episode. Since I sped up my iron ore processing things, I'm getting quite a bit more iron. And as we see here, we have 48,000 crushed iron ore, which I started out the episode with 53,000. So we are working through this backlog, which makes me pretty happy. And yeah, we have 2.4 million iron ore still, but I think we're actually starting to work through that. It's hard to tell right now, but I think we are. But I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.